Hello again, pizza pals. It's Meltvin, the only slice of pizza with more stamps in his passport than pepperonis on his crust. Today, Stephanie and Ryan are taking us on river cruises you might not even know exist. Not the usual Rhine or Danube, but pies with bolder flavors. The Mekong, Nile, Magdalena, and even the Colombia and Snake Rivers here in the US. These are cruises for travelers who want culture, history, and flavor baked right in. So sit back. This episode's a tasting menu worth savoring.
Welcome back to One Slice at a Time. I'm Ryan, a travel advisor who's eaten pizza on nearly every continent and somehow turned that into professional research.
And I'm Stephanie, a luxury family travel advisor who believes vacations should feel smooth, immersive, and unforgettable, not like a burnt crust that you regret ordering.
Ooh, we can both agree on that. Last week, we served up Iceland, road tripping the ring road versus cruising its coastlines. This week, we've got something totally different in the oven. We're talking about river cruises that you didn't even know were possible.
These aren't your standard itineraries. These cruises take you deeper into cultures, histories, and local flavors. These are the kind of trips you come home with more than souvenirs. You come home with stories.
4 slices on the table. We've got the Mekong, the Nile, the Magdalena, and the Colombia and Snake Rivers. A full pizza box of discovery. Which one would you try first?
So let's kick things off first with the Mekong. It is a deep dish of river cruises, layered, rich, and absolutely satisfying. Waterways charms of the Mekong sails between Cambodia and Vietnam on the Amadara. This isn't just a cruise, it's a full slice of culture, history, and daily life along the world's most fascinating rivers. Imagine sitting on deck, glass of wine in hand, watching stilt houses, floating markets, and rice paddies drift past, like travel served tableside.
What I love about this sailing is that it makes an exotic destination feel completely approachable. On your own, Vietnam and Cambodia might seem like just too many toppings, different languages, different food, different customs. But a river cruise is like the perfect crust holding it all together. You unpack once, the ship moves you effortlessly, and each day you get to taste those differences, those language, food, and culture differences without the stress of navigating it on your own.
Exactly. Instead of worrying about logistics or choppy waters, you're gliding along calm stretches of river, greeted with smiles, colors, and flavors you've only seen in photos. It's like flipping through a travel magazine, but you're actually there living it slice by slice. Think of monks offering blessings, markets bursting with exotic fruits, kids waving from the shore, moments that remind you of how big and beautiful the world really is.
And the beauty of it is you're never on your own to figure it out. The guides are locals who know every story, every flavor, every hidden corner. You get the authentic experience with a side of comfort, like ordering your pizza with just the right balance of adventurous toppings and familiar favorites. You'll taste, see, and feel Vietnam and Cambodia in a way that's bold, but never overwhelming.
So, whether it's sampans driving through lotus ponds or the serene silence of a Buddhist blessing, the Mekong delivers a mix of savory traditions and sweet surprises. It's a journey layered with culture, connection, and color, and best enjoyed one slice at a time.
For sure, isn't every place. But if anyone's thinking about that this trip sounds amazing, let us know because I do have a group sailing in August of 2027 on the brand new Maya.
So definitely reach out to Ryan. I'm sure he'll be able to give you lots of information on how to get on this amazing river cruise. Okay, now let's move on to Egypt and the Nile. This is the grand banquet of river cruises. Waterways, Secrets of Egypt and the Nile is a Cairo to Cairo journey that blends land and river experiences into something that feels truly timeless. If you could walk among the Pharaoh's treasures, would you?
Yeah, but
Absolutely.
yeah, before we totally dive in though, I do want to say something about this part of the world. Egypt is not that far from Israel and Gaza. And, I even had some friends in the last year that wanted to go to Egypt And I told them I just wouldn't do it as long as that region was in such turmoil. The reality is, though, you're going to be hard pressed to find a time when it is 100% safe to go to Egypt. But if you're going to do it, if someone asks me how to do it, I look to companies that emphasize your safety while still giving you an authentic experience. And while we just spoke about AMA Waterways and the work they've done to make the Mekong approachable, the same is true of the work they and frankly other cruise lines have done to make the Nile and Egypt a safer destination for travelers. So on this trip, you will begin in Cairo, where the AMA Waterways teams assist you through customs and gets you settled into the country. During the first couple of days, you're going to experience the Grand Egyptian Museum, some other amazing sites, and of course, the main attraction, and likely the whole reason that you decided to go on this trip to begin with, you're going to see the Great Pyramids and the Sphinx. Just imagine yourself, like me, holding up a slice of pizza with the pyramids in the background. It's probably just my thing,
It's
but
just you.
Stephanie, yeah, what are you going to do? What pose are you going to do?
I don't know. I'd have to think about that one for a little while. From there, guys, you actually fly to Luxor. You board your ship for the Nile cruise. Stops include the Valley of the Kings and Queens, with special access to some of Egypt's most famous tombs. And then there are the Colossi of Menon, towering statues that have been standing guard over this region for more than 3,000 years. I mean, talk about a supersized welcome.
3,000 years, it's kind of hard to fathom.
I know.
Um, on this trip, you're going to see some of Egypt's best preserved temples. And you're also going to sail around Elephantine Island and enjoy high tea at the Old Cataract Hotel, which is the same spot that inspired Agatha Christie. So how about that? A little mystery with that afternoon tea.
Sounds fun. One of my favorite parts is the Philae Temple, dedicated to the goddess Isis, followed by a visit to a Nubian village where you connect with the locals and learn about their traditions.
Guess what? Remember in Spaceship Earth, you learned that the Egyptians turned papyrus into paper? Well, on this trip, you'll stop by a papyrus workshop to see how they did it. You'll also have time to shop the Luxor market. It's filled with spices, perfumes, and handcrafts, little souvenirs with big stories.
And then finally, it's back to Cairo for a private tour of the Abdeen Palace, one of the most luxurious palaces in the world and still an official presidential residence. Inside are royal gifts and historic treasures, the perfect final course before heading home.
Nile just isn't. It's a journey through living history, served with the comfort and care of a luxury river cruise ship. Every stop adds a new layer, and together they make a story worth savoring. Which stop would you linger on the longest?
Oh, that would be a tough one.
Hey, Pizza Pals, just a quick reminder. Ryan and Stephanie aren't just talking about these cruises, they book them too. If you want your trip served up golden and not half-baked, give them a call. And now, it's time for my favorite bite, Ryan's Crusty Review.
So I spent the last week at Disney's Saratoga Springs Resort in Florida. I love Saratoga Springs because it's right next to Disney Springs. The rooms are big, bright, beautiful. And since we're on the topic of river cruises, I'll also mention that it's on the Sasagula, which gives you the ability to take a boat to Disney Springs and connect over to Port Orleans. There's a river cruise you didn't know you could take. Now, inside Saratoga Springs, they have a little quick service menu called the Artist's Palette. Here you'll find the standard Disney fare, but they also do pizza. My mom and my nephew were visiting. They were on the Disney dining plan, and they ended up with 2 quick service meals left over. And I think you know what's coming. I, on my last day before driving home, ordered 2 pepperoni pizzas, one for dining in and one to go. So my review of these quick service pizzas from the Artist Palette is, for quick pizza, they're not bad. And with so many things, I appreciate its availability. It will not win any pizza contests. It won't even bother entering, but it's good for a fix. And it's, easy. So 5 out of 8 on my scale because attendance.
Because why not? They all are.
Yeah, exactly. Well, if you get a 7, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Is there any quick service in Disney that you prefer, Steph?
I feel like they're all the same. I mean,
They're
I don't really
they're
have
not,
any
though.
that stand out, but I guess I don't really eat quick service pizza at Disney because I just don't have any that I really like. So
Yeah.
that's not something that we usually choose for quick service when we're at Disney. So I
Yeah.
guess I'll have to try it more often, and you'll have to
Well,
prove me wrong that they're not all the same because I feel like every single one of them are just the same
oh
pizza.
no, definitely not. The Rat Place
The
closed in
same
Hollywood Studios,
puffy,
but it's
puffy
totally different.
pizza.
No, and this okay. So this was not that.
Oh, okay.
There you go. All right, we've done our crusty review, so let's add a little salsa to the mix and head somewhere spicier. Would you dance along if you were here?
I would definitely. Exactly. So we are going to trade crust for Colombia as we head to South America and the Magdalena River in Colombia. Alma Waterway's wonders of Colombia blends colonial history, vibrant music, and immersive culture into one unforgettable journey.
We're 3 for 3 now. We've been talking about Alma Waterways a lot,
I
but
love
in this
Alma Waterways.
destination, true. The other 2 rivers that we've talked about, you can use another
Use
other
others.
cruise line there. But at the Magdalena, they're the only game in town. They did all of
right.
the work to make the Magdalena accessible to river cruises, and they have one ship. It's the only ship sailing the river. So whenever you have a situation like this, it is somewhat imperative that you travel to the destination as soon as possible. Right now, you can experience the culture that it's unspoiled from tourism. It's still raw, it's still unique, but who knows how long that's going to last. You're going to kick things off in Cartagena with a tour where you'll see colorful homes, striking street art, and bites of local flavor. It's the perfect first taste of Colombian life before the ship even leaves the dock. Which of these sites would you photograph?
I don't think I would worry about photographing. I'm going to eat food.
Yeah, that makes sense.
What about you guys? You're going to take pictures or eat food? From there, you'll visit Palanique, the very first free town in the Americas. Its traditions are so rich that UNESCO declared them a masterpiece of oral and intangible heritage. You'll experience symbolic hairstyles. Who knew that was a thing? Symbolic hairstyles, ancestral medicine, and music that pulses with history, all wrapped up in a performance that puts rhythm front and center. Then in Calamar, you'll hop into a bicycle taxi for a spin through historic streets and century-old churches. I don't think we're taking the taxi into the churches, but we're going to go past them.
Well, nature takes the spotlight too. You'll have a small excursion boat to explore and spotting rare birds and soaking in the wild beauty of the Delta. Then the ship's going to glide on to a colonial town that feels frozen in time. You're going to be welcomed with a private jazz performance before wandering cobblestone streets, centuries-old churches, and even visiting a jewelry workshop that's been perfecting its craft since the Spanish times. Would you hit the streets or enjoy the music?
But the music first. And it's not just about the sights, guys. Of course, it's for the flavors too. Around Monpash, you'll join sunrise bird watching in the wetlands, then sample specialties like capa, cheese, and butafara. Later in El Banco, the ship turns into a stage as musicians come aboard to perform La Cumbra. Be honest, are you clapping along from your seats or out on the floor dancing? I don't think I could stay in my seat. What about you, Ryan?
I would be clapping. Or maybe jeering, depending. In Santa Barbara de Pinto, you'll see locals weaving fishing nets and hand-rolling tobacco, or take a guided hike into the lush countryside. Then the finale hits, where guests are treated to a private carnival celebration, costumes, music, dancing, the whole vibrant spectacle. And as if that weren't enough, you'll also witness where the Magdalena meets the Caribbean Sea, an epic end to the journey.
This itinerary isn't just sightseeing, it's a living, breathing connection to Colombia's communities, traditions, and landscapes. Every stop adds a new rhythm, and by the end, you feel like you've danced right into the heart of the country. I have to say, Principals, out of all of the trips we've talked about so far, this one is for sure the highest on my list.
Yeah, I like the whole thing about how it's just being open to tourism.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
so by going there in the near future, it's just going to be an incredible immersive experience. I love it.
I just want to see if I can dance enough to not gain any weight for all the food that I eat.
Yeah, that's fair. That is fair.
Finally, Pizza Pals, let's look a little closer to home with the Colombian snake rivers. So most people, when they think about river cruising in the U.S., we think about the Mississippi. But American Cruise Line offers itineraries that start in Portland, Oregon, and follow the path of pioneers, native cultures, and natural wonders across the Pacific Northwest. Which of these landscapes would you be most excited to explore?
So with this one, your journey begins with a hotel stay in Portland before boarding. Right from the start, you're cruising past the scenic Willamette and Columbia rivers, with Mount Hood rising in the distance like a postcard back.
This itinerary is a perfect blend of history and landscapes. In Astoria, you'll find Victorian homes spilling down the hillside and visit Fort Clatsop, where Lewis and Clark spent the winter. The Columbian River Maritime Museum adds maritime flavor, and you can even opt for an excursion to Mount St. Helens as you hear firsthand how the 1980 eruption reshaped the region. Would you hike, explore, or just soak in the views? I don't think
I
I'm
don't
hiking.
hike. I don't hike. If
And
the
definitely no
excursion
bike
says hike,
excursions.
if the excursion says hike, I skip. If it says walk, I
Me and
consider
Ryan we'll be on the walking tour.
it. But as you sail further upriver, you're going to see the end of the Oregon Trail. You can hike or kayak around the falls, the tallest falls in Oregon, or explore the gorge surrounded by soaring eagles and ospreys. And for wine lovers, this is where the Columbia Valley shines. Tastings here are all about bold reds, crisp whites, born from volcanic soil.
Scenic days on the river are just as rewarding. You'll pass through locks and dams, cruise by towering basalt cliffs, and take in dramatic views of Hell's Canyon, the deepest gorge in North America. On board, you can join cooking demos, wine pairings, and talks that bring the region's stories to life.
In Richland, Washington, the Reach Museum connects the dots from the Ice Age floods to the Atomic Age, while the nearby Sacagawea State Park highlights the Corps of Discovery 1805 camps. And in Pendleton, Western heritage comes alive with cowboy history, native culture, and even the town's famous underground tunnels.
The finale unfolds in Clarkson, Washington, with the in-depth exploration of Hell's Canyon. Between the cliffs, rapids, and wildlife, it feels larger than life. Guests can even take a narrated aerial tour for a bird's eye finale before heading home. Would you take the flight for those views or enjoy the river level perspective?
I want the flight. I want the flight.
Me too, definitely.
And this itinerary is great. It ties it all together. History, geology,
Mhm.
wine, and landscape served up in a way that feels uniquely American. It's the kind of journey that leaves you with a deeper appreciation for both the land and the people who shaped it.
And with that, guys, we have reached the last bite of our river cruise journeys. 4 rivers, 4 very different flavors, all unforgettable. Which one were you going to add to your bucket list first?
My God, they're all on there. They're
Oh,
all
yeah.
on there.
They all sound amazing.
Pizza Pals, all of these are on your list. But if you have to do it in priority order, I'm going to tell you, do the Magdalena first. Then you're going to
Then the
do
Mekong.
the Mekong. And then you're going to do Egypt. And then you'll do the Colombian
Colombian
snake. And the reason I say that is, it's the easiest to get to. So if it takes you 30 years to do these 4 cruises, do the Colombian snake last. It's easy.
Well,
It'll
I
be
got a
easy.
plan for you guys. Come with me to Colombia in 2026.
There you
Go
go.
with Ryan to the Mekong in 2027. And then we'll work out maybe Egypt for 28. And we'll talk about doing Colombian steak somewhere in there. How about that, Ryan?
I'm sold.
Sounds like a plan.
It does. So there you have it. It's 4 river cruises that are far from ordinary. Each one a
That's
slice
right.
of culture, history, and flavor. And we didn't even go to Europe.
That's right. Who wants to go to Europe anyway? All right. So next week, we are going to give you some great ideas for Christmas. Christmas 2026. We're going to give you 3 great trips to put under the tree that the whole family will love.
Love that. Let's
Okay.
do it. But before we go, Stephanie, what's for dinner?
The same thing it always is.
Tacos?
Taco pizza.
See you later,
Bye,
guys.
guys.
Well, that's all for this slice, Pizza Pals. If you liked what you heard, toss us a 5-star review, tell a friend, and subscribe so you never miss a bite. And don't forget to sign up for the Extra Cheese newsletter at extracheese.fun. Because more cheese makes every trip better. Until next time, keep your crust golden and your wanderlust alive.